Hello there, it's Wale Ladipo here. How can you stop a panic attack fast? How can you stop a panic attack fast? What we do know is that a panic attack episode happens when the anxiety center within your brain, called the amygdala, over prepares you for an emergency situation that may never be there. Sometimes it's subconscious, other times is at the levels of our cognitive function. So sometimes you know why you're having the panic attack. Other times you have no clue of the reason why you're having a panic attack. Now, if you know that the cycle, by the way, a panic attack is a cycle that it could last between 5 minutes and 30 minutes, sometimes more, sometimes less. And it could come back in waves within hours, within 2 to 3, 4 hours period. And sometimes it lasts for days, depending on the intensity of your panic attack. Now, knowing that, the first thing to do when your panic attack neurological circuitry is activated is to surrender to the panic attack. Yes, surrender to it. Do not resist the cycle. If you resist the cycle, you're going to flip into a deeper state of the sympathetic activities. And that means you're going to have a longer panic attack episode. And it's going to be deeper with regards to the symptoms. We do know that a panic attack is a cycle that will peak, then it's going to start to diminish. Surrender to it. And while you're surrendering to it without any struggling, don't resist it. If you resist it, that's reinforcement that you want that state to continue. Surrender to it, and if you're able to breathing is one of the most powerful ways that we instruct the anxiety center that we want relaxation. Start to observe your breathing. If you're able to breathe, some people can't breathe, but if you're able to breathe, take a deep breath and let it out through your mouth slowly and gradually while you imagine your entire body relaxing. Relaxation, breathing exercise is one of the most powerful hormonal communicative channels to communicate with the amygdala pathway, which is the one that gives you the panic attack that you want through relaxation. So start to maintain your breathing. Breathing will give the amygdala the instruction that you want relaxation. And if you're hyperventilating, you might want to do the cupped hands. Use the cupped hands method, which is actually very useful for some people. Something like this. You're breathing into cupped hands. If you use both hands, that will be very powerful. Put both hands together in the cup form and put it in your mouth and breathing back the carbon dioxide that you were breathing out to replenish the depleted carbon dioxide in your lungs. That's why you have more panic attack episodes if you're hyperventilating. So you're able to replenish that carbon dioxide that's been depleted. That would be very powerful. So for panic attack episode to be able to be resolved very quickly, it's important for you to understand that anxiety is actually your friend. It's actually helping you to cope. So basically, you don't panic at all. Rather, you surrender to the symptoms, and you start to regulate your own breathing. And another thing that could be very useful is to if you're able to distract yourself positively. People have used distraction techniques for years, for hundreds of years. What can you do? Can you go for a walk? If you know that if the panic attack is at the early stage, go for a walk, call a friend, go out and have some fresh air. And that confidence that you know that you can communicate with your anxiety center without losing control, still being grounded, is one of the most powerful ways to short circuit the anxiety circuitry that is already activated for your panic attack. So I'm Wale Ladipo. I hope this has been useful. I'm in Aberdeen today. One of the most important understanding of anxiety is that anxiety is a positive energy that requires leadership. It's a positive energy that requires your leadership. So that means it wants you to train it the way you want it to operate. So start to nurture your anxiety center. Talk to it. Let it know when it fires wrongly. Let it know when it pushes, it falls alarm. And no any other time will you be permitted to lose your head, to start to panic. If you have a cycle going on, surrender the cycle. It's going to peak, then it's going to start to diminish. A panic attack episode is a cycle that peaks, then it diminishes eventually. It might take a few hours, sometimes a few days, depending on whether you have some stresses going on in your environment. But you want to make sure that you don't do is to resist or struggle with your panic attack episode. And gradually, the homeostatic balance of your panic attack will start to get adjusted. And before you know it, you've even forgotten. You've forgotten that you used to have a panic attack. So Mwale Ladipo, the very best. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.